After the close of World War II, Korea was divided at the 38th parallel, with a communist government supported by China and the Soviet Union to the north, and a democratic government supported by the Western allies to the south.
Today, years after the Korean War, South Korea is flourishing with a booming economy, unlike its northern counterpart, which still suffers from famine, human rights abuse, and other problems.
Honestly, I thought they done sent me to the end of the world, but it was, I don't know, you get a lot of fears and you wonder what you're getting into, or kind of changes your whole attitude about things. To me, as long as you're over there, you stayed scared because you never knew when they was going to, what was coming off or when you was going to get hit or what.
Artillery barrages, night fighting, and hand-to-hand combat became the norm in an unforgiving landscape pockmarked with the harsh realities of war.
Out of the harsh realities of war came men of courage, like Emil Capone, an army chaplain who distinguished himself in giving aid to the wounded and also providing hope and morality when he was a prisoner of war for his fellow prisoners in North Korea.
Knock out one. First day of battle, we lost 120 soldiers in my company. We had to have 120 replacements after the first day.
The Korean War is often considered a forgotten war, but here at the Virginia War Memorial, no war is insignificant, no matter who you were or when you served. And even though it may not be heavy on the minds of Americans modern day, we still do not forget the Virginian men who gave their lives for South Korea and responsible for it being where it is today now. The Virginia War Memorial lets it be known that no sacrifice is ever too small. As I explained in my World War II video, I used the root analogy, and I'll be using that same analogy for the Korean War. In the Korean War, it was considered a forgotten war. Even though they helped the South Koreans and saved them from the oppressive North Koreans, their deeds go unnoticed, and not that many people remember Korean War, nor do they thank Korean War veterans as much. The Korean War is mostly overshadowed by the Vietnam War and World War II. The Korean War veterans are the root of a tree. They go unnoticed and they're underground, but they keep everything else in support at the top. You could consider South Korea the whole tree and the leaves. They wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the men fighting and dying during the Korean War, who are the root.
The people of Korea deserve to be protected from the communists because they were good people. They are good people. They're good people today. And I think we did the right thing to go into Korea. I think we were there to protect the people from the North Koreans, and we did.
Today, South Koreans are thankful for the United States and the UN for their intervention to stop the North Koreans. In North Korea, there's a lot of defection to the South, and it makes sense. With lots of starvation, abuse, and human rights atrocities being committed every day, it makes sense why people in South Korea want all of Korea to be unified under the South Korean rule. A rule of democracy where human beings are treated equally and not as animals.